America has crashed 5 times in 250 years. Each crash should have killed it. Banks failed. Fortunes evaporated. People starved. Instead, each one made the system stronger. Here's how financial destruction built the richest nation on earth. Crash 1, 1792. America's first ever stock market crash, just months after the NYSE opened. Alexander Hamilton's former assistant, William Duer, manipulated bank stocks using insider information and borrowed money. When the scheme collapsed, it triggered a chain reaction. Credit froze, businesses went bankrupt overnight, Duer was thrown into debtor's prison, where an angry mob tried to murder him through the bars. What it built, Hamilton personally intervened, using treasury funds to buy government bonds and inject liquidity into the system. It was the first ever government bailout, 216 years before 2008. The crisis forced Congress to pass regulations against insider trading and market manipulation. Wall Street was 3 months old and already needed rules. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Each crash created the thing that prevented the next one. Crash 2, 1929, the Great Depression, the Dow drops 89%, banks collapse, 9,000 of them, taking everyone's savings with them. No insurance, no safety net. You had money on Friday, it was gone on Monday. Unemployment hits 25%. People who'd been millionaires sell apples on street corners. What it built? The FDIC, guaranteeing bank deposits up to $250,000. The SEC, regulating stock markets. Glass-Steagall, separating your savings bank from casino banking. Social security, so starvation in old age becomes impossible. The entire modern financial safety net exists because 1929 proved we'd die without one. And it gets worse before it gets better. Crash 3, 1971, not a market crash, a system crash. Nixon kills the gold standard. The dollar is no longer backed by anything physical. Economists predict collapse. Inflation spikes to 14%. Gas lines stretch for miles. The dollar should have become toilet paper. It didn't. What it built? The petrodollar system. Kissinger negotiates with Saudi Arabia. All oil sold globally in dollars. The dollar loses gold but gains oil. Floating exchange rates create the modern forex market, now the largest financial market on earth at $7.5 trillion traded daily. The death of gold gave birth to the modern financial system. Crash 4, 2008. Housing market collapse. Lehman Brothers dies in a weekend. The entire global banking system comes within hours of total failure. ATMs were 48 hours from shutting off. That's not hyperbole. Hank Paulson confirmed it. What it built? Dodd-Frank regulation, bank stress tests, higher capital requirements. The Fed's emergency toolkit expanded permanently. Banks are now required to hold enough reserves to survive their own collapse. 2008 didn't just bail out banks, it rebuilt the walls between them and the abyss. Now here's where it gets personal. Crash 5, March 2020, the fastest market crash in history, 34% in 23 days. A pandemic shuts the world down. The Fed prints $4.5 trillion in new money. Congress writes stimulus checks to 160 million people. What it built? Proof that the system can inject unlimited liquidity instantly. For better or worse, 2020 proved the US will never allow a deflationary collapse again. They'll print whatever it takes. The question isn't if they'll save the system, it's what the cost of saving it will be. So here's the pattern. Every crash destroys the old rules and writes new ones. 1792 created regulation, 1929 created insurance, 1971 created the modern dollar, 2008 created stress tests, 2020 created infinite stimulus, which means the next crash will build whatever we're currently missing. What do you think it is? What's the gap in the system right now? AI, crypto, sovereign debt? Best answer gets pinned. 250 years, 5 crashes. Each one felt like the end. Each one was actually an upgrade disguised as a catastrophe. America's economy wasn't built despite its crashes. It was built because of them. If this changed how you see market crashes, subscribe because the next crash is already loading.